The talking points memo is an important one tonight because it has to do with Donald Trump's main deficit, the main thing against him that may prevent him from being president. Okay. It is the January 6th controversy. So as you know, the Democrats and some independents believe that Donald Trump incited January 6th. He wanted violence. He wanted a riot. He wanted all that. The evidence shows that is false, and I'm going to produce the evidence tonight. However, it's going to be a campaign issue, no matter what. It's the big thing that they're going to hit Trump with right between the eyes. Okay, so let's walk through this. The week before January 6, 2021, everybody knew that there was going to be a large pro-Trump demonstration. President knew, Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi knew, Mayor of D.C. knew, National Guard knew, cops knew, everybody knew. Okay? So what should have happened is that everybody was on high alert. And the National Guard would called in ahead of time to protect not only the Capitol, but other key places in Washington. That's what should have happened. It did not. Remember, Donald Trump has not been charged with inciting insurrection or doing anything like that. So if there was direct evidence against him, as the Democrats purport, allege, that certainly would have been under Special Counsel Jack Smith's indictment, but it isn't. That's a key piece. Okay, so the first line of defense in D.C. is Mayor Muriel Bowser. All right, here's what she said before January 6, 2021. Quote, "To be clear, the District of Columbia is not requesting other federal law enforcement personnel and discourages any additional deployment without immediate notification to and consultation with the Metro Police Department, if such plans are underway." And then Bowser is quite clear that she did not want the National Guard on the streets of Washington. That's the first line of defense. The second line of defense is the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, who has direct supervision over the Capitol Police and the grounds of the Capitol. Donald Trump believes, and it's said, that he asked the Speaker if she wanted National Guard troops. Go.
I offered 10,000 people to the mayor of Washington, D.C., Nancy Pelosi, both of them, Nancy Pelosi and to the mayor of Washington, and they turned it down flat.
Okay, that's what Trump says. Now, up to this time, Pelosi hasn't said anything. But the new Speaker of the House, Hakeem Jeffries, a Democrat, has said that's not true. What Trump just said, what you just heard, is not true. Go.
Well, the fact that Kevin McCarthy continues to blame Speaker Pelosi is just such a sick and cynical act of diversion and distraction. We know that the person primarily responsible for the insurrection that occurred on January 6th is the former twice impeached President of the United States, Donald Trump, who incited that riot.
It seems that the Speaker of the House, Mr. Jeffries, is lying. And let me prove it now. Stay with me here. Nancy Pelosi has a daughter, Alexandra. She is a documentarian. She produced a film called The Insurrectionist Next Door. It was released October 15th, 2023, last October. The Insurrectionist Next Door, Alexandra Pelosi. In that documentary was an inflammatory statement by her mother. It was edited out of the documentary. No one saw it. But through the Freedom of Information Act, Congress got the clip that was edited out. The House Oversight Committee got it. Here is the clip. Nancy Pelosi on January 6, 2021, talking to her Chief of Staff, Terry McCullough. Go.
We have responsibility, Terry. We did not have any accountability for what was going on there, and we should have. This is ridiculous. You're going to ask me in the middle of the thing when they've already breached the inaugural stuff that should we call the Capitol Police? I mean, the National Guard? Why weren't the National Guard there to begin with?
They thought that they had sufficient resources.
No, there's not a question of how they had. They don't know. They clearly didn't know, and I take responsibility for not having them just prepare for more.
Smoking gun. Again, her daughter, Pelosi's daughter, Alexandra, edited that out of the documentary so no one would see it or hear it. And it was only uncovered through a Freedom of Information Act request. That should be a huge story. Trump campaign should be running with that all day long. You heard about it? I bet you hadn't. I bet you the first time you heard and saw it was tonight on the No Spin News. Okay. At the same time, Pelosi was admitting that she made a huge mistake. The Democratic leader of the Senate, Chuck Schumer, was saying this. Go.
They have not denied it. I spoke to the Secretary of the Army. He's given a full okay to give the National Guard, and he said it was not denied. I'm going to call up the effing Secretary of DOD.
All right. So Schumer didn't know what was going on. It wasn't like he was coordinating with Pelosi. And he still, to this day, Schumer, doesn't know what's going on. There's no clue, because he doesn't want to know. All right. Now, we investigated this way back when, all right? And we ran a soundbite on January 4th, 2022, from a guy named Kash Patel, all right? Kash Patel was the chief of staff in the Pentagon under President Trump. He was the liaison between the White House and the Pentagon. We interviewed Mr. Patel right here. Go. Donald Trump said, hey, on the 5th of January, I called the defense secretary and asked that he suggest that 10,000 Guard troops be moved to Washington. And that's true. We confirm that. You know that's true, right?
Yeah, I was in the Oval Office when we had that conversation with the President of the United States and the Secretary of Defense. And not only was it 10,000, it was 10 to 20,000.
Okay, and that is the reason that Jack Smith, the Democrat special counsel, did not charge Donald Trump with insurrection or any of that. Okay? So now you know the truth, as Paul Harvey once said, the rest of the story. But this goes on because in the next 4 months, you are going to hear charges from Democrats, probably from Biden himself, and it might happen at the debate, that Trump was responsible